And welcome to Dating as a Joke, where we take dating so seriously that we laugh about it. And today I've got Nicole joining me, and I'm so glad you're in your robe, Nicole, because I wouldn't expect you to be wearing anything
Yeah,
else.
it's
You look
my
so great.
and I upgraded. When I turned 39, I upgraded. I was like, it's time for the leopard print.
Yeah, no,
I'm
absolutely.
going
It's funny.
full, you know.
I went shopping with my daughter, and we were like at a Lazenza, and they had some leopard print stuff. She says to me, she picks it up, she goes, "This is something I would find in your drawer," and it makes me very uncomfortable.
Your kids are ruthless with you.
Oh yeah.
They really are. I'm sorry.
Y-
My son is very gentle with me still, but he's only
I've
8.
given them a lot of freedom, and they have a lot of personality.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see. Do you regret that? Should I rein in the freedom?
It's one of those things that I always say I'm so proud of them because they all have very strong personalities that'll serve them very well outside the house. But when you raise people with strong personalities and then they use that with you, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I should have just raised them to be submissive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's off-putting. My mom always said, like, as long as they're behaving outside the house, like
Yeah, yeah.
she knew, especially with me, like raising a radical, that I was pretty mouthy. I'll give her that. I was pretty mouthy. I was pretty
Okay.
mouthy. If anything, if I saw anything wrong, I was like, this is wrong, and I know better than you. I'm sure it was hard for her. Anyway, we're
Yeah.
not talking about our mothers on this one, are we?
No,
Well, we're talking
we do
about
end
dating.
up
Could be related.
we do end up talking a lot about relationships, and I think it would be naive to think that our relationships with our parents don't affect our relationships with our significant others.
And I'm learning that more and more as I age, for real. Like, you think you heal from it, but all of your relationships have to do with how you've been raised. All of them. Friendships, your intimate relationship, of course. And it's like, and I find even what we do know about those connections as a society is super, as everything else is, sexist, racist. Like, the rhetoric, for example, that women learn how to make intimate pair bonds only from their father
Yeah.
and not their mother, is like a super sexist, misogynist curriculum. And sorry, my dogs are crazy.
Yeah,
This is
no,
why it's
I
hard
hear her.
for me to date, by the way. I have a lot of dependents. Can you see how many times I've gotten up from this conversation?
Yeah, I know. You say that you only have one child, but you know that that's not true. You've got three altogether.
Yeah, it's a lot. I have like my menagerie.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, now I'm gonna start same question that I start with everybody because I think you might have some thoughts on this one. Now, you are incredibly funny. I adore talking to you,
Thank you.
and it's a perfect mix. I fangirl on some of my guests. The perfect mix of like really cool intelligence and humor that you do so well on stage. But my question is like the statement men don't date funny women or don't like funny women. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think there's any truth to that? Do you have a take on it at all? Do you think
Yeah,
that
well, I'm
you're
39 and single. How do you think I feel about that? Yeah, it's a very accurate statement, I'd say, right? Wouldn't you say that's a very accurate statement? Men always fumble the funny woman, and then they always regret fumbling the funny woman, but now it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. No, for real. And I always get pegged as the, like, oh, she's one of the guys. I've always been friends with guys too, as well as women, like I've just, and it's like, yeah, I'm always, oh, you're so good at being one of the guys. Then they don't see you as being wife material. No, because I'm too goofy.
yeah, yeah.
Let me tell you, men have smooth brains and very tender hearts, because funny women are the ones who are going to get you through your day. Yeah. And all the hard shit too.
Yeah, you need exactly. How are you gonna get through the hard stuff, right? Like hard. What do
Yeah.
you do without a funny person? Now, here's a question for you. Do you
Can I just add one thing?
yeah,
I will say I posted something in my notes saying I can't make my ass clap, but I can make you laugh.
yeah,
And like a ton of men
yeah.
responded being like, that's more important. And I was like, really, is it more important?
Really?
You guys really show me that it's important. No, they don't want to.
But okay, so here's my
They're
theory, and I
lying.
say this almost on every show. I do believe that men do like funny women. I just don't think they like women who are funnier than them.
Oh, well, do men like women who are anything more than them?
I was gonna,
Stumped
let's
you
see, what,
there. Yeah.
yeah,
Studies show the
we're
moment.
feminine. We're feminine. That's where we
Sure.
win.
Yes. Occasionally. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. More feminine than them. Yeah. That's.
More, and I'll do this right. I forgot to put the little quotations under
No.
feminine, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, studies show that the moment our IQ is tested higher than a man, we become more unattractive.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't follow the scholar journals, and most of what I know from TikTok. But I mean, I think anybody looking at the fact that more and more women are getting higher education, that women are outpacing men in post-secondary education and from graduation, and more women are single into older life, and more women are choosing not to get married, and more women are choosing not to have children. There's a direct correlation between those two, and I don't think I need to be a scientist to prove that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, we can read now.
yeah,
Yeah.
do math, add
This is what they
numbers.
were worried about when they were worried about teaching women to read. This is exactly what they were worried about, was that we'd start making educated choices, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
No, don't get me
Yeah.
started down that road, even though we are. Okay, what we're gonna do is we are going to go to the wheel,
The wheel.
and I will. Our Instagram friends won't be able to see the wheel, but maybe I will find a way to show you the wheel. Oh yeah, you know what? I'll turn it around while I spin it,
I waved at everybody in
and
this
that way
thread.
Ashley, who I think is still here, can see our wheel of dating disasters. There you go. Can you see our little wheel? A situationship that expired long after the milk did. So, do you have any, or can you think of, were you in any situationships that maybe you should have thrown out way before you should have, or before you actually did?
Wait, it was I threw out the situationship before.
Yeah, well, you held on to the situationship for too long,
Oh,
basically. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, 100%. I have a very juvenile like dating experience. Like I only started dating really as an adult woman in my mid 30s, right? So I've
Yeah, we
really
have
only
that
had
in common. Yeah.
yeah. I like being married, so I've only had one situationship, you know. And I think there's always going to be the one person that held on to that. I feel like there's always going
That your situationship was your marriage, or were you referring to something?
Oh, that would be hilarious. If Wouldn't that be really funny if my situationship was my marriage? That would be really funny. Or my co-parent right now. Yeah, my situationship
Yeah, they're my
just
situation. The funny thing is
held
too,
on too long.
I think co-parent is your like lifelong, ends up being your lifelong situationship because
Listen, I'm
it's
still
like,
married. It's yeah.
yeah,
You
you can't
can't
get away.
no.
There's always going to be a relation. Like
Oh,
there's always
100%.
going to be that connection when you share a child.
Yeah, we're gonna be grandparents together. Oh, like after my divorce, my primary relationship that I had to focus on was my relationship with my ex-husband, because we had to change it. We had to become co-parents, right? And it's
Yeah.
just happening now. But no, my situationship, the only one I've had was after my divorce, and yeah, it was really quite painful. But they always said that yeah, and you know what? I'm from a time when there were friends with benefits,
Hmm.
not situationships. And
Yeah.
that was much better because I'm actually friends now with all those friends with benefits, you
Yes.
know?
Hmm.
And hello, everybody. I'm actually still friends. We made a friendship, you know? The situationship thing, this like drop in, have access. Yeah, I held on way too long because it's shitty. That's a shitty situation.
Yeah. How long did you say your situationship lasted, or
More
is it
than a year.
still active? Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
because
I
there
think
was
it
hope.
lasted
There
like
was hope
four.
on my part that it would become more, right? Yeah.
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 Yeah. So okay. So that's another a good point. So do you think that the reason you held on as long as you did was because there is that hope,
That
right?
you
That
had a
like
I had
hope.
a huge crush on him? Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
this is
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
go somewhere.
yeah.
And then I find that so when I had Talia on here, and there's a clip that anybody who's watching this can go look. We had a conversation about breadcrumbing, and I think that situationships are actually based on
They're
breadcrumbing.
based on
That's the
breadcrumbing.
foundation is the
It
breadcrumb.
is, yeah, they're croutons. It's a crouton. It's like a crouton.
You can
It's like a
stick them
Caesar salad.
together.
I'm the Caesar salad. They just want to put the croutons into the Caesar salad. Croutons get, have you heard there's now micro breadcrumbing? That's a thing. There's something
My,
called micro breadcrumbing. So now we've gone from every 2, 3 days, 2, 3 weeks. You wanna reach out. Micro breadcrumbing. I'm a big girl. I need more than breadcrumbs. I'm a big I'm hungry. Like,
I just heard you say that there's something less than the bare minimum.
Yeah. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Trust men to make that up, right? Like
Wow.
micro breadcrumbing, micro.
Micro
Yeah,
breadcrumbing.
yeah.
That
And
I
you know
gotta
what's
add that
funny?
one
You know what's funny? You know what's funny? You'd think that the people who micro breadcrumb you are the people with like micro penises.
too.
They're
Yes.
not. It's not. It's
That
the
would be good
biggest
because then you
ones.
can just
It's the
identify
biggest
it.
men. It's the big men. It's the big men that want to give you micro small things and small things. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, now, but why do you think that is then? Do
It's
you think it's
capitalism.
because of
It's
control?
late stage capitalism. It's late stage capitalism. I really, I actually really feel bad for men.
Mhm.
I unpopular opinion. I know I'm
Yeah,
a
you.
feminist, but like I actually, my heart goes out to men right now. The hardworking men, especially like I tend to have a preference for racialized men and like men of color, and the hard working men, racialized men especially, who are also trying to be creative, be there for their communities. Men right now, their value in society has been, for this whole time since capitalism began, has been associated with their ability to produce and work in capitalism, right?
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
what you see now is men chasing only a bag, chasing the bag. And you see women chasing men who are chasing the bag because
Yeah.
their value has been determined by how
Yes.
much they can produce in
Yep.
capitalism. And
Hmm.
of course, women, deal with this also because our value has been associated with our reproductive value in capitalism,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
And now we're struggling even more because we are also having been in the workforce for some time now. We are struck. So, and I think especially as a single mom, I tend to get a small taste of that. I'm sure you do as well because you're the head of your household, right? You're the provider in your household, and so I get a small taste of what it's like to be a man, right?
Yeah. No,
Um, and it's hard. It's really hard. Yeah, and I get these TikToks where they're saying if he wanted to, he would. I do believe that to a certain extent, but as a society, are we currently able to do all the things we want to do?
mm.
I
You see,
really don't think
yeah.
so. Like
So
I really don't
yeah.
think so. Like I know a lot of men that I think it's a lot to ask of them to do emotional labor right now because they're so overworked by capitalism. Like I know men who are sleeping 3, 4 hours a night. I couldn't function off of that.
Hmm.
Like as a woman, my body needs a lot more sleep than that, right? And that's just,
Yeah.
I
It's
couldn't function off
yeah.
of that. So I
I feel
kind of,
like
the
yeah.
breadcrumbing, I think, is a result of late stage capitalism as well.
Yeah, I agree with you actually 100%. And I've not by just one person, but a few people in my day have called me a man hater because and it's not like I share experiences that I've had. I'm like, these are my experiences, and I'm very careful to say these have been my experiences. It's not representative of all men, whatever, blah, blah.
Hmm.
However, I agree with you. I think that we're at a stage where men have been taught that their value lies in how much they can produce. I always say when I first started dating and I didn't know how to read the red flags, I was getting so many dick pics. And I thought to myself as well, like, I felt bad for the men because I'm thinking the only value that they see that they're bringing to this relationship is either how much money they make or how big they are, right? And I'm like,
Do we
but
like
men,
big dicks? Can we just ask the question? Do we like big? Can I just ask the question? I don't. Personally, I'm fine with mediocre dick. Okay? All the men out there, I'll take mediocre dick, but not a mediocre man. Just
here's the thing, but I think there is a correlation, I think, between what men are told. And the thing is that men are being told these things by other men. And I always
yes.
hear men
Yeah.
on the internet complaining
Yeah.
about women. And I'm like, no woman
Yeah.
has ever said that.
No woman
Women
has
in
ever said that.
general don't
No
think like
woman
that. It's
wants to
men.
feel like she's giving birth all night. It's okay if your penis is a little bit, average. Yeah. Yeah. Just saying. Just saying. Our cervix is at 6 inches, max, sometimes 4. It's somebody who studied gynecology. I know this. Anyway.
Yes, I know. Well, yeah, exactly. You know what you're talking about when it
Yeah.
comes to that. Absolutely. But it just
A
scares me to think.
well-placed thumb. It can help you guys a lot. Like,
Speaking of the bare minimum,
just stop breadcrumbing us, and then your penis size won't be so important. Yeah.
yeah, it's the impressing other men. I'm
If
telling
if
you, there's
all
so
you're
much
bringing to the
pressure.
table is dick, then sure you're gonna feel like all you're bringing to the table is dick. I literally have men now who go straight to offering me penis. They don't ask me on a date. I haven't been asked on a
Yeah,
date in 22 years. I
yeah.
haven't gone on a date in 22 years. But
It is.
men will get explicit with me right away in my DMs, wanting to give me like back shots.
Oh, yeah, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
know that was my first. Like I said, my first whole while of um of being online dating, and even worse, on my personal Instagram. On my personal Instagram, I used to do like a whole body positivity thing, and all my posts were targeted towards women. Everything I said in my posts were quite vulnerable, geared towards women going through divorce and all of that. The amount of messages and
Yeah, that's what my
propositions
face was about out
and
there.
job offers that I would get through my DMs on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
is crazy. And it was scary to me because here I am, almost 50, 3 kids, divorced, overweight, and I'm getting these kinds of messages. I'm like, can you imagine these, young, gorgeous women who are out there just trying to do their thing and are just getting like even more or even worse than I'm getting. I just thought like it is a crazy place out there
Okay,
in the
you're
world.
not. Can we just reframe that? I don't really like that you called yourself overweight. I would say that you're buxom.
Okay, it's a very factual thing. Like it's
No,
not a
but
good or bad
overweight.
thing.
No, you're just weight. You're buxom.
Yes, okay, you're right.
Who judges where the
Societally,
over part?
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, okay. But I'm kind of talking about that through your regular man's gaze because I get this because I get it a lot, and I've argued with men on my TikTok account. Right, so 4 years ago, I had like a public breakdown. I had been stood up so many times. I was like, I just had it. And I made this post where I said, I'm just tired of like meeting men online and getting such just poor behavior. I'm like, I don't expect to be asked out all the time by every man, but like if you're gonna like ask me out, like what's the problem? Do you understand how many messages I got? The posts are still there of men saying that the reason I'm treated poorly is because I'm fat. And I'm like, one has nothing to do with the other, right? Like, I understand preferences. Look at your face. I'm telling you. I'm like, why match?
Can
Like,
I
my
tell you
problem's not getting
honestly?
dates. My problem is the behavior.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And also, hello, can we just address the fact that like why is it okay to treat anyone badly? Like based on their weight? Like what's
This
that
is
about?
my point.
Yeah, like
So I
what's
do
that about?
a
Like
bunch of
what's the yeah.
What I like about the trolls on TikTok is that it just gives you more material to be able to create
Love that for you.
content,
I love
right?
that
Which
for
is
us.
great.
Yeah.
But that was like the whole reasoning was just, I'm like, it doesn't make
Bye,
sense. Like,
Adam.
let's get back to the like let's get back to the point that's about the behavior. Like, I have no problem with a guy who doesn't match with me because he doesn't like the way I look. Some men don't like that I wear bright lipstick. Some men don't like women with short hair, long hair. They're too tall, they're too funny, right? That's fine. I have my preferences too. But I don't like talk to somebody and then set up dates and then not show up.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that
that's a
I
whole
don't
different thing.
understand the effort. Like, why go through the initial effort to, like, what's that
Are
about?
they
Is it
just
a
bored? Like,
thrill?
are they
Is it
just
a I was
bored?
recently ghosted as well,
Yeah.
and it's like, especially after you've shared your body with somebody, it's a really unsettling feeling, because it's like, now I feel like a pedophile. I thought that we were both grown-ups. Like,
One of us
I
was a
thought we
kid.
were both grown-ups. I didn't realize I was sleeping with a child,
Mhm.
like if you're gonna ghost after, right? So it's very juvenile. It's a very juvenile experience. And I really feel like late stage capitalism has fragmented us so much. We can barely love ourselves. If you'll notice, if you'll notice, it's getting into a relationship very much like getting into the job market, getting into real estate. If you didn't do it 5 years ago, get yourself a good stable one, get in, it's very hard to do it now. And it's because, especially after that pandemic, it's sort of accelerated sort of the characteristics of late stage capitalism, which the only way the model of capitalism ends, for whether you're a psychologist, a physicist, a philosopher, a contortionist, it ends with extracting exponentially until everything's gone. So it's like,
Sorry, I'm sorry. Just when you threw in contortionist,
yeah, people like to
I
ist,
get what you're saying.
people
It's just
people
like,
like to be like, oh, you're an academic, so you think you know more than me. Well,
no, but
first
it
of all,
doesn't
academics are some of the
matter. It
dumbest
doesn't
people I've ever met.
matter.
But yeah, is the end of capitalism is all of our stories are gone.
Yeah.
We can't love anything, earth, ourselves, like, so. And I think that's what we're seeing now. I think it's very funny that men are giving us breadcrumbs and groceries are going up 6%. I think it's not
Maybe
unrelated.
that's what you need is
It's
the
not
micro
unrelated.
breadcrumbs. You know how they call it shrinkflation?
Yeah,
That's what's
it's not
happening with the
it's not
breadcrumbs.
unrelated, that we're literally only, I myself I'm making choices as far as food is concerned. I'm like, I won't eat my vitamin C today from the fridge. I'll give it to my son, fresh fruit wise. And so I don't think that it's an accident that men who have been so associated their value with
Yeah.
production in capitalism are only able to like bring breadcrumbs to the table now and not bake bacon now,
Yeah.
because they're exhausted. I can see it in them. I can literally, any hardworking good man who's providing for a family, or let alone he has kids too, maybe he's trying to be creative like us, they're fucking exhausted.
Yes.
They're exhausted. So, I'm not giving them excuses, but yeah, it's
I think that's not excuses, but there are reasons for what's going on, and I think that there are. I do have some hope. So I've had the pleasure of speaking to some like young men, and I'll let me say, so my friends have daughters who have boyfriends who are like in their early 20s or very late teens, and I've noticed a bit of a difference in the way that those young men see their relationships, approach their relationships. I would say even with my own kids, they're a little bit more self-aware. Like, I'm dealing, my age range are Gen X men, and it's tough, but I see the way that they were raised, right? And the way a lot of us, even, I'm not saying I'm free of all my baggage, like, it does impact how you behave now. And I find when things like therapy are much more um acceptable, when young boys are allowed to talk about their feelings. And I know that people hate participation awards, and it's not about participation awards, but I do think we have a generation of parents who are allowing their kids to express emotions and show love in a way that other generations didn't,
oh
that I
yeah.
think might be beneficial, in a few years to society. Maybe.
I'm not
I,
sure.
I hope.
I see so many TikToks that are so divisive, and the amount of 20-year-olds that are willing to give up on good friendships, good relationships off of one social media viral thing. Like it's a little bit scary, you know.
Yeah.
You said something earlier that I really wanted to return to because it was actually about dating, but I forget. We've gone off onto these really big, huge topics, but they do matter in the scope of dating. They do matter.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Okay,
Have
I'm
you had
going
any
to.
other moms on your show?
Have I had any moms on my show? Yes, but we didn't really get into um sort of the like into a conversation around every one of these shows. The conversations go in very different directions because there's just so much, right? When I talk about relationships, and I find one of the things that I'm noticing from having all these conversations is like everybody's experiences are unique and they are different, but at the same time there's such common ground
Oh yeah.
in everything. So I'm loving doing this because it's been very interesting to hear different perspectives. I've only had two men that I've interviewed, and they've both been very pleasant. It's been interesting to hear their perspectives as well, from their side and what they're experiencing from their, relationships and some of their challenges has been really cool.
You reminded me, that's what you said. You said I don't hate men, and I think we've talked about that, where I've been accused of that as well,
Yeah.
especially with my it would be much easier for me, by the way, if I hated men. We've both talked about this. It would be much easier for me if I hated men. I actually have to love men. I have a son.
Hmm.
You know, I
I've got
can't.
two of those, yeah.
Yeah, I can't go down that road of hating men ever. And I think I was wondering if maybe we only have like 10 minutes left before you go. I was wondering if maybe you wanted to talk about that, just like dating as a mom.
Yeah, so for me, it's become a little bit easier now, because my youngest is 16,
Okay.
right? Now it does impact, there's a lot of things that does impact me. So for example, I don't bring men home. I
Like
don't
ever, or when
my
the
kids
kids
have
are
not
home?
met any of the men that I've dated.
Like, is this when the kids are home? Like, do you have them home when
Well,
they're not
I'm
home?
very careful. I have only had two men in my house, when my kids are not home.
Yes.
And both of them, I would say, were people who I was like serious about.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I
I
did
don't,
have
yeah, me
though,
too. It's a very,
but to be fair, I did when I was dating a woman. I dated her for a year, and I let her into the house very early on in the relationship, and that was very hard for my kids to accept. And her relation, and it was that relationship that cemented for me how important it is that my relationship with my partner and my partner's relationship with my children is very important to me. Like I
yeah.
cannot have one of these relationships where my kids don't like my partner or my partner doesn't like my kids and somehow I still move on. I can't.
Okay, that doesn't, how could that ever be a thing? Like,
Oh,
that's
don't
never a thing. So that's never,
feel.
no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah.
But I do find like, so almost like contrary to, maybe because my son's younger than your child, a lot of men mistake me for someone who needs a replacement dad.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I want somebody to just like move in here and be the man of the house. And like that couldn't be further from the fucking truth. I have to tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. I want like a boyfriend. I want like somebody I can have fun with and go out
Yes.
and be
Mhm.
out in the world. Like I don't want someone coming into my home that I've worked very hard to,
Mhm.
you know. And like you, I don't invite a lot of men over. I've only invited two over since my divorce. It takes a lot of trust. It's my safe space. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of the last, and I've had to learn the hard way. My house has to sort of be the last stage of
Yes.
things. And um, even if they're respectful of my house, and I never introduce them to my son. I always have my play dates when my son's not home.
Mhm.
Um, and that's another thing. I date a lot of guys, they don't have their own place, so they got to come to my place. I don't know. 30 something year old guys don't have their own places right now. And that's okay. Like I'm not fucking on a couch.
40,
Like, I'm a
50-year-old
grown-ass
guys
woman. I
don't
have
have
my
their own
silk
place either.
sheets. Yeah. Like,
Nicole,
I don't
it
need
doesn't matter.
anybody's mom hearing me. I'm good. Like, I understand.
But I just thought of something. Maybe part of the problem is that we're dating in the greater Toronto area. Real estate is just so expensive,
Yeah,
right?
and I don't judge. If I had a good relationship with my mom, I'd be living with her right now. Listen, I'd be saving. I'm going house poor because of keeping. I totally get it. I totally get it. But it's just I don't want a man to come in and rescue me, or if I would like to build another life outside of this one with somebody. And I think
Mhm.
that that's a huge misconception that I face a lot, is that men feel very pressured, like they have to take some sort of role in my son's life.
Yeah.
Well, my son has I mean, he's a white man, so he's mediocre, but he has a mediocre,
Yeah, but they've
father.
got their own. I've always said that too, because I mean, when I started dating, again, my 16-year-old at the time was only 11, and there's a huge difference, right? Like at that point, um, but they have their own dad who does his
Yeah, he
dadly
does his
duties.
thing.
They don't
They
need another father, and I don't need a traditional husband, but I think that complicates things.
I would
Because
love
I think,
one. I would love to get married again. I want to be a wife again so badly. And get it right this time. I would
mm,
really love that. And I think that's another thing I struggle with, is a lot of men meet me and they're like, "Oh, a good time and a short time," you know?
right, but I think, but here's the thing. So I think it's tough for men to see a woman who is intelligent, who's got, who's educated, who's had a career, who's got hobbies, right? Who's got friends. And then I don't think that they understand what their place is,
Oh my God,
right?
I would love a protector. Like,
Yeah.
I'm very vulnerable. I get hurt quite a lot. Like people hurt me quite a lot. I'm a brown woman. And when there was a man in this house, even as a friend, sleeping,
Yeah.
like staying over, it's a very different vibe.
Yeah.
I want a protector. Obviously, it would be nice to have two income. I want somebody telling me I'm beautiful and chasing me around the
Yes.
house,
Yeah.
trying to sniff my nuts and his. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't have nuts, but trying to sniff my panties while I chase him and sniff his. Like it's like,
Yeah.
obviously, I want to have sex every day, maybe once, twice. Maybe
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, and I think, and I mean, those types of things sound good to me as well. But I think that
Oh,
sometimes it's
somebody
hard
to
for a
cook
man to
with.
see that. Yeah, I want somebody to cook for me,
I would love
not to
that
cook
too
with.
every once in a while, but I like cooking too. But cooking, dancing, joy. What do you
Yeah.
mean you can't bring anything to my life? And also back, maybe this is a nice way to make it full circle. I can
Mhm.
only be funny if I have someone else.
Yeah.
I can't make jokes just sitting here by myself. It's actually really, as you probably know,
It's hard. Yeah,
it's
no,
way
it's so much
easier to
nicer.
make jokes when you're in collaboration with people, right? So of course a man could bring a lot to my life, like joy,
Mm-hmm.
intimacy, me feeling loved. And that
Yeah.
makes me that would make me a even better mom than I am now,
Mm-hmm.
right? To feel loved. And in fact, that's the only thing I want from a man as far as the role in my son's life is concerned, because
Mm-hmm.
that's what he doesn't get to see, is a man
No.
loving his mom.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
I can't do that. I can't be a
No.
man loving me. So that's the only role I want,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a man to
Yeah.
obviously to accept my son as well, but like as far
Yeah,
as
but not into
mentorship
that.
or
Yeah, but not into
responsibility.
that father role like
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
like they can end up having the relationship as close as they need it to be eventually, but yeah,
Okay, we are running out of time, and I want to make sure that we have an opportunity for a this and that segment.
go ahead.
So we're gonna move into a this or that. I've made a winter edition because it'll be very cold by the time that this airs. And all I need you to do is choose one. I will give you pick this or that, and pick one. Try to go with your gut. Don't overthink anything.
Hmm.
Ready? Okay. Huffing season or stay single season?
Well, cuffing season, but I feel bad saying that because it sounds very carceral to me, right? It's like I'm an abolitionist
Yes, I
feminist.
do. I do.
Yeah.
But it's a mutual, consensual cuffing.
Consensually cuffing one another. Hell
Yes,
yes.
yes.
Yeah.
You're putting the cuffs on each other with
Yes,
love, and they're fluffy and
absolutely.
furry
Yes.
and warm.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, a hot chocolate date or a mulled wine date?
Hot chocolate.
Okay, ice skating first date or winter market?
Winter market. Ice skating some white people shit.
Yeah.
Let me just go. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's an indigenous born thing, but so yeah.
No, okay. Matching holiday pajamas or never?
Like, is it
Holiday.
matching holiday pajamas or
Yeah.
nude? Nudity. Is it
Oh,
nudity?
no, just
Because I picked nude. I picked
okay.
nudity.
Matching nudity. Okay, just no pajamas at all.
Just always, if there was a man in my life and my
Mhm.
son wasn't home, we'd just be naked
All the time.
all the time.
Very primal.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Romantic winter walk or Netflix under the blankets?
Ooh, both of those sound. I like a romantic winter walk because Netflix can happen regularly. Yeah.
Okay. Winter fling or a slow burn connection right till spring?
A slow burn. Nobody's having any flings anymore, okay? Nicole's not flinging anything.
No more.
My titties are too reckless at this age. They can fling all the time on their own. I don't need a man flinging anything around me. No flings, no breadcrumbing. I got my own breadcrumbs here.
Oh, and especially no micro breadcrumbing.
No micro breadcrumbings,
No.
okay? No, thank you. Shit.
Oh no, actually, here's a question that'll lead me to another one. Dating app marathon or deleting the apps until spring?
I don't use apps for
I was
anything
gonna
other
ask
than
you, you don't
material.
use the apps at all, right?
For anything other than material. You want to know what a man said to me on an app? I actually saved it for this show. He responded to a picture of mine. He said, "Don't get pregnant. I've got plans for us." That's the first thing. You know when you get to match somebody on Hinge?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And I'll tell you honestly, you want to know the greatest part about it? I was pregnant in that photo.
Were you really?
Yeah, all my photos from Hinge. By the way, everybody, all my photos on Hinge, I'm pregnant. Yeah, Nicole's very pretty when she's pregnant. I do it just to bug you guys. Yeah, fuck with you. Seriously, I was pregnant in that photo. I look gorgeous when I'm pregnant. And yeah,
Wow.
that's what he said. Don't get pregnant. I have plans for us. What does that mean? What does that? I actually get pregnant very easily, so it was triggering for me. But yeah.
Yeah, I had a guy once make a comment about my belly, but it was like, it was very like, I can't remember the exact words, but I was like, is he saying I look pregnant and or he wants me pregnant or like what was it? And then he messaged me, and what he wanted, he actually had like a feeding fetish.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like a fetish.
Yeah, I didn't know. I learned a lot being on the apps. I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
And then his
you
next
learn it's a quick
messages were all about feeding me, and I was like, "Oh yeah, no, like I'm not that hungry.
I'm not that
or that
hungry. I'm
thirsty."
well fed, thanks. That's why I have all this.
Yeah,
Don't need your breadcrumbs. That's crazy.
That like why lead with that?
Honestly, I feel the same way. Like, what a ridiculous way to lead. Like, where did you think this was going to get you? But then at the same time, I'm like, I'm so glad that you did.
Yes,
I'm so glad that you led with that because I'm just going to screenshot it, use it for material, and just get by it. But yeah, I just thought of something, and I was like, I should say, oh, you know what I learned when I started with the apps after my divorce? So I wrote, I'm looking for a man who loves hip hop, football, like, I wrote a good character, like all the things that, I wanted. And then I said, I guess I'm looking for a unicorn. And I put an emoji of a unicorn there.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh no. Learned a little too late what a unicorn actually is. And which is just for anybody who needs the education as a third member, to your sexual activities.
Unicorn,
yeah.
So you learned about unicorns the way I learned about casual relationships.
Yeah. And your feeding belly fetish, yeah.
And my feeding, yeah. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, that is too funny. Now, Nicole, just because we do have to wrap up, where can people find you?
Well, we on Instagram, hot.mama.scholar. Mama is MAMA. So hot.mama.scholar is my Instagram. And same for TikTok, actually. It's the same everywhere. And YouTube. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice. I like your name because it's a unique one, but it's also very memorable. I like that.
Well, thank you.
And then I will also post as part of the notes in these, once I post these, where you'll be around that time. This will be airing like in January, sort of end of January.
If it airs in January, then you and I actually have a show coming up in February, wouldn't we, in Oakville? That's the only one I
Oh
kind of
yes,
know about this far in advance, really. Other
yeah,
than every month we have I co-produce a show called Vandam Comedy with G Gadinka. And it's we're trying out some really fun new venues around the city right now. Our next one's in Scarborough, but this will air after that. And that's a monthly show, so that's always on my page. Um, and I think, yeah, our show that we're doing out in Oakville would be happening in February.
in February. I
Yeah,
can't. The date is escaping me right now. I have a show February 19th.
that might be.
That's
It's February
happening
20th. I think
February
it's
20th.
February
Yes. Okay.
20th. I remember thinking it was around Family Day.
And
And
that's
do you
an
know what
all
I
women's
wanted to?
show.
Pardon?
That's an all women's show.
Yes.
All women comics.
Yes. Thank you for not saying female. Yes. All women.
Yeah,
But
all women.
I wanted to tell you too, that comment about you being like heavier and men having an issue with it. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I used to get approached and asked out a lot more when I was like 75 pounds more than this.
Hmm.
I only recently became hot. Like I really
By basically by
I only
those
recently
standards, right?
became
Yes.
this. I only recently started looking like this after I got rid of that last one, you know?
Hmm.
Um, and men don't approach very beautiful women. Yeah, I should say that with my chest. I'm a very beautiful woman, and men don't. The more attractive physically I've gotten, the least that like I get, the less I get approached.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
I think I do blame that on some of the very overt messages I've received, is because for some reason I think men have a misconception that if you look a certain way, you somehow have lower standards. It's like,
Fuck
no, thank
them.
you.
It's
No,
probably
thank
the
you.
hot ones that have lower standards because we're in scarcity.
Lisa.
Like seriously, I have very low standards. Diana has very high standard. Like I don't understand what's going on here. Also, we're both hot. Like it's crazy.
Yes,
It's
yeah. You
crazy,
should
but I
really see
think
us
like the
together.
the
We need
hot
to we need to
girl.
start going out in the town more, you and I together. You could be each other's wing woman.
Listen, I think we'd be a problem. I think we'd be rowdy. I think we'd get kicked out of places, to be quite honest with you. I think we might be banned for life from
Just
places.
get kicked
Good
out
thing
everywhere we
Crocodile Rock still isn't there. You and I would probably fuck it up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. This was as fun as I thought it would be, and we got to do it again because we still have a lot to talk about. We didn't
We
even
do.
touch on being stalked and having our labor stolen at the same time.
Yeah,
So
well, you got to
we
come
need to
in
get
your
into that.
bathrobe on the next live for Baddies in Bathrobes, my show.
Patties and bathrobes. Yes, I have a pink like leopard print bathrobe.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Of course you. You're so sexy. You're so
I need
sexy.
to wear that. Yeah, it's fuzzy though. It's not sexy like yours. Mine is like a fuzzy, like a fleece bathrobe. But
Okay,
I'll wear
first
it.
of
I'll
all,
wear it.
that is sexy too. I don't know why
Patties and
you do this
bathrobes.
to
I like.
yourself. Do you know how many people like fuzzy stuff? It's a whole
Yeah,
community. Okay?
there is something for everyone, isn't there?
Yeah, you pull off fuzzy sexy. Anyway, yeah.
So thank you, Nicole, and we'll see you all next time on Dating is a Joke.
Yeah.